these animals have devastated thousands of hectares of farmland, causing massive losses to farmers. With millions of them and their relentless reproduction, they've become a threat that cannot be ignored. Only under the cover of darkness do hunters get the chance to confront them, using the night's shadows and silence as weapons against these cunning foes. Will tonight's hunt be a success? Stay tuned for the heart-pounding moments coming right up. Kevin's team arrived at 5 p.m. sharp. In less than 5 minutes, they spread out swiftly, surrounding every corner. From his vantage point, Kevin scanned the entire field through his binoculars. Then, a large figure appeared head down, grazing, completely unaware. Without hesitation, his finger snapped on the trigger like lightning. The dark silhouette crashed down, a swift, clean, and powerful takedown. Clearly, the hunter's expert skill had perfectly dominated the prey. An impressive start and a clear warning to any wild boar thinking of destroying the crops. Moving deeper into the heart of the field, Kevin left no gap unchecked. Sure enough, another wild boar was brazenly wreaking havoc here. Without wasting time, Kevin quickly locked onto his target and chose the perfect shooting angle. The sharp crack of the shot echoed, sending the beast into a panic. But after just a few desperate steps, it collapsed in the bushes. It had restored the peace this place once knew. At another spot in the field, Jay locked onto his target without hesitation and fired. The decisive shot seemed to release all the frustration built up from seeing the crops destroyed. The wild boar dropped instantly. The loud bang sent the others into a panic, scattering into the shadows in a flash. But there's nowhere to run when our team has already laid a full perimeter. Stay tuned and watch as the chase unfolds. Continuing the challenging hunt, the team quickly gathered to strategize and tighten the net on the remaining boars. As darkness fell, a new battle line was drawn. With modern gear in hand, Kevin soon spotted a lone wild boar separated from the herd, busy feeding in the field. Without hesitation, he squeezed the trigger. One precise shot brought the prey down instantly, ending the threat and saving the field from another night of destruction. The seamless coordination between cutting-edge equipment and team spirit forged a solid front that made completing the mission much easier. A signal came in reporting the wild boar herd gathering at the edge of the field. Kevin and his team moved in immediately. Upon arrival, everyone quickly took their positions, ready to fire. A volley of shots erupted simultaneously, and the herd was subdued in an instant. The battle was over, restoring peace to the field once again. The sound of gunshots rang out, marking the end of a tense night hunt and bringing peace back to the field. Today's victory was the result of strong collaboration between the hunting team, farmers, and local authorities, all working together to protect the crops. We're truly grateful for their support. All our activities took place within the designated areas and under strict supervision. Months of sweat and toil had led to this moment, the time to reap what we'd sown. But our joy was shattered by a heartbreaking sight. Rows of corn stalks lay crushed, cobs torn apart, the field scarred with fresh signs of destruction. The culprits? A rampaging herd of wild boars. Our hard work, our dreams, reduced to rubble in an instant. Unwilling to surrender, we grabbed our rifles and set out to take down these invaders. This cornfield, my family's pride, where Devil and I now stand, is nothing but a scene of devastation. The wreckage speaks for itself, no explanation needed. The culprit revealed itself in a flash. A massive black shadow tearing through the clearing, quick as lightning. I fired, round after round. The beast took a hit, but charged wildly into the corn, desperate to escape. My eyes never wavered, my grip steady. One final shot. Dead on! Ended it all! No matter how stubborn, no destroyer can outmatch us, the rightful guardians of this land, hunters born from this soil. Out in the cornfield, the hunt was no easy task. Too many perfect hiding spots for those wild boars. As we moved along the irrigation ditch, Devil suddenly surged forward. I read his signal and followed close behind. Out of nowhere, a ferocious boar charged across our path, cutting us off. Quick as lightning, Devil fired. The first shot sent the beast into a frenzy, crashing through the tall grass. But it didn't get far. The second shot, clean and decisive, left it cold. Another destroyer felled in the heart of our field, because we won't let this land be violated. A rustle erupted from the corn rows, and in an instant, 2 wild boars burst from the thicket, practically begging to be targeted. Caught off guard, I was on my own to face this sudden chaos. I fired rapidly, bullets chasing their frantic path. Boom! Boom! One boar dropped dead in its tracks. But in a split second, before I could even blink, the other vanished into the dense underbrush, slipping from my sights. Looks like today's hunt is throwing us more challenges than we bargained for. True companions, my dog zeroed in on the target in a flash, charging forward and clamping down hard on the boar's leg, cutting off any chance of escape. Right on cue, Devil stepped up and pulled the trigger. The massive boar collapsed, going limp in an instant. What a textbook takedown. What do you think? Drop a comment below. As we moved to the hillside, our dog's fierce barking erupted from the thicket. Without a second's hesitation, boom! A bullet struck its head, sending it reeling backward, tumbling down the slope. My heart raced. A split second slower, and I might have been the one tumbling. As the afternoon sun cast long shadows, the distant thud of hooves echoed in my ears. I was ready, so when 2 boars charged out of the brush, one after the other, I wasn't caught off guard. With years of experience, I locked onto my targets. One shot, and the first boar dropped. A second bullet, swift and short, felled the other as it scrambled to flee. The tension melted away, replaced by an unexpected wave of relief. As the final rays of sunlight stretched across the cornfields, we trudged back to the village, our trophies slung over our shoulders, drenched in the sweat of our labor. The endless fields may seem calm, but all it takes is one wild hog charging through to throw everything into chaos. Armed with brute strength and cunning instincts, these beasts can tear through anything in their path. That's why seasoned hunters never let their guard down. One slight movement could mean the prey is right in front of you or already gone, leaving behind only stunned eyes staring into the distance. So, what are you waiting for? Get ready for some heart-pounding, unforgettable hunting moments. Early in the morning, John's hunting vehicle sped down the road heading toward the Queensland fields. As soon as they arrived, hurried footsteps set off the chase to track the wild animals. Every tense gaze scanned the surroundings, leaving no spot unchecked. Wait, there seemed to be a noise ahead. John raised his modern binoculars, spotting a dark figure hiding among the tall grass. In a ready stance, the precise trigger pull came the moment the animal slipped into John's sight. The beast fell instantly, a powerful shot marking a strong start to today's battle. Moving on to the neighboring field to hunt for more targets, the team quickly set up a tight perimeter. After just a few minutes of waiting, a herd of wild boars appeared across the field. This was the golden moment. John immediately squeezed the trigger, the bullet hitting its mark. The lone boar fell, and the rest panicked and scattered. Moments later, the echoing shot signaled that the fleeing threat had been dealt with. A successful move to stop those sharp claws from continuing their destruction here. At another location, Jay spotted a pack of wild hogs casually moving through the field. Without a moment's hesitation, he fired a powerful shot. The lead hog collapsed instantly. Follow-up shots quickly stopped the rest in their tracks. A flawless sweep that left no one behind, successfully protecting the field. As the sun climbed higher, John's team decided to switch up their tactics and hunting grounds. They moved deeper into the thick brush surrounding the fields, determined to better protect the peace of Queensland's farmlands. Just as the hounds let out a sharp bark, the massive silhouette of a wild hog tore across their path. In a matter of seconds, John locked in, raised his rifle, and squeezed the trigger. One shot was all it took to bring down the ferocious beast. At the edge of the field, Jay held his rifle steady, eyes locked on every movement, making sure nothing escaped his watch. Seconds later, a wild hog burst out of the brush. With no wasted motion, Jay pulled the trigger on instinct. Fast, clean, decisive. The beast dropped instantly. No matter how fast it ran, it never stood a chance against the barrel already waiting for it. At the same time, John kept moving, tracking the remaining signs. After a while, he paused, his eyes still sweeping the area. There, a large herd of wild boars had gathered. He raised his gun, and shots rang out in rapid succession. Another swift sweep was carried out in seconds, and soon only fallen bodies remained. The long day has come to an end, trophies in hand, but the echoes of gunfire still ringing in the mind. The wild boars may return, but today, no one can deny that the hunters are the victors. The victory is for protecting the crops and bringing peace to the people.
Oh my God, what have these wild boars done? The scene in front of us is a complete disaster. My teammates and I couldn't help but feel both sorrow and anger at the destruction they caused. We knew that if we didn't act quickly, the damage would only get worse. That's why our entire hunting team set out with one mission: to track down these destroyers, not just to protect the crops, but to restore peace for ourselves and our community. Early in the morning, we made our way to the forest right next to our village. Having hunted together for years, we didn't need to say a word. Everyone instinctively moved into position. I began searching for signs of the wild boars. Suddenly, a teammate shouted from a distance. The target was closing in. And sure enough, thanks to our preparation, I aimed and fired in a split second. The shot hit home. The boar slid across the ground and collapsed shortly after. Before we could even savor the win, I sensed something strange. Amidst the lush green trees, a dark blur moved past. My hunting instincts kicked in immediately. I raised my gun, eyes locked in, ready to fire at any moment. Bang! The startled boar tried to dodge, but it was too late. The bullet hit clean. It stumbled, thrashed around briefly, and then went still. As soon as I radioed in the sighting, Orson swiftly moved into an intercept position. And just like that, the moment the boar appeared, he didn't hesitate. One clean shot from instinct alone, a quick and decisive end. The boar never had a chance to escape. Knowing that wild boars often move in herds, we were sure more were hiding nearby, so we began sweeping the area carefully. Just as we predicted, the herd emerged under pressure. I kept my cool, tightened my grip on the gun, eyes fixed on the target. Then bam. A precise, clean shot dropped one of them right where it stood. After a brief 10-minute break, we pressed deeper into the forest. The dense undergrowth created a natural barrier, masking any movement inside. But nothing escapes our four-legged warriors. Our dogs quickly picked up a fresh trail. We moved into position without delay, held steady, and aimed with care. The gunfire cracked through the forest. Just like that, another boar dropped not far from us. The echo of gunfire shook the area, scattering the herd in all directions. Some nearby boars dashed off in panic. But we weren't about to let them get away that easily. I quickly readjusted, locked in on a runner, and squeezed the trigger. Another wild boar dropped instantly. In just a few minutes, we added another trophy to the day's success. Just as we were about to call it a day, our dogs suddenly went wild with barking. From deep in the woods, a massive black figure came charging out at lightning speed. It was him. Not giving a chance to fight back, I opened fire immediately. Several shots rang out, target down. Last night, Cody called and said he'd just seen wild boars enter his field. Early this morning, we went to check. Footprints were clearly stamped into the damp soil, and fresh patches of torn-up grass marked their path. There was no doubt about it. They had already started moving in. So, without delay, we grabbed our rifles and set out to hunt. This grassland lies right at the forest's edge, the very route that boars often take when foraging. We set up an ambush on the southern edge of the field, a wide, open area with almost no cover. The entire team had to remain completely silent, patiently waiting for the prey to walk into range on its own. Unexpectedly, within the first few minutes, a herd of wild boars suddenly appeared in the distance. Gunfire shattered the early morning silence. Although I missed the chance to take down the lead boar, the close range and favorable angle allowed me to hit several in the rear. Judging by their size, they were still fairly young, but that doesn't mean their destructive power should be underestimated. Who knows, maybe they were the very ones that stormed into Cody's field last night. Savannah normally doesn't show up for hunts, but the wild boars had caused so much destruction that this time, she wanted to lend a hand. While quietly lying in ambush from the hunting stand, 2 wild boars suddenly burst out, right in her line of sight. She may not handle a gun often, but it's clear she knows how to make the most of the decisive moment. Right after Savannah shot, another wild boar suddenly charged out into the open grassland. I reacted quickly and fired. Within seconds, the target collapsed. Wild boars are naturally wary and hard to approach. They can detect human scent from hundreds of meters away and quietly retreat. But these ones, so used to brazenly invading farmlands, seem to have forgotten to fear human scent, forgotten even the sound of gunfire. Just nearby, Cody spotted a wild boar fleeing across the grass field. Without hesitation, he opened fire. After a few missed attempts, the bullet finally hit its target. The boar staggered a few steps before collapsing in the thick green grass. Exactly the kind of decisive action Cody is known for. We began spreading out, sweeping through every bush along the edge of the field, tightening the perimeter and leaving the prey with no way out. The low grass offered no place for the boars to hide. Sooner or later, they would have to reveal themselves in front of our barrels. Suddenly, from behind a tree, a large wild boar bolted, trying to escape into the distant thicket. But it was one step too late. Cody adjusted his aim, bang. The shot hit. The boar let out a scream before collapsing. He approached and fired once more to be sure. Experience has taught us never to give a wild boar a chance to get back up. On the far side of the field, where the dry grass grew taller and denser, I moved slowly, almost holding my breath. Suddenly, a patch of grass rustled, and the form of a wild boar emerged, every detail clearly in view. Two shots fired straight from the front. The boar didn't stand a chance.
Ah!